on day one, what did recovery mean to you?
I had no clue. No clue, man. I went into detox like, what is happening? How did I get here?
You said something earlier in regards to like, will I ever get to a point where I don't need to run stuff past somebody else? No. I'm living proof. No matter what, my ego left unchecked
It's dangerous.
is very dangerous.
The Community Podcast is all about us just engaging with people from our community, having real, live, honest conversations, and building relational equity. We believe that the most important thing, first and foremost, is relational equity. If we invest in one another, the world will be a better place. That's a fact, Jack. That was a bar. Welcome back, everybody, to the Community Podcast. My name is Juan Duarte. I'm the host. Today, per usual, we have our co-host, Precious Bailey.
Howdy.
Yes, and we appreciate you all tuning back in. For anybody, if this is your first time, welcome. We see you, we love you, we appreciate you. Keep tapping in with us as we have conversations. The Community Podcast is all about us just engaging with people from our community, having real, live, honest conversations, and building relational equity. We believe that the most important thing, first and foremost, is relational equity. If we invest in one another, the world will be a better place. That's a fact, Jack. That was a bar. Anyway, we're about to jump right in because I have three of my favorite people here today. Flat out, like dead serious. Three of my favorite human beings in the world. And you guys get to see this unfold, and I have no clue what's really going to happen. So don't hold it against us. We might end up clipping things. We might not. I don't know. Josh is going to do a good job, though. Either way, I'm going to introduce. They're going to introduce themselves. I gave our first guest, it's Stevie Matlock. And our other guest is Michelle. And Stevie has a piece of paper, and you're going to go ahead and read that introduction.
All right. Today's conversation is a special one for a lot of reasons. This is not just a podcast with the guests we know. This is a conversation with someone we love, someone we have watched grow, someone we have rooted for, someone we have been blessed by, and someone who has been a real example of what recovery, courage, creativity, and transformation can look like.
No, you keep going.
Oh, I keep going? Okay, damn.
You're not done yet.
Stevie Matlock came into our lives very early in her sobriety journey. Michelle, Precious, and I had the privilege of being there in those beginning places, the early days where everything is new, uncertain, raw, and full of possibility. And when you get to witness someone from the beginning of their journey, there's something sacred about that. You remember the moments they could not yet see what you saw. You remember the fight. You remember the fear. You remember the little victories that did not look little to the people watching closely. And then over time, something beautiful happens. The person you were trying to support starts becoming someone who supports others. The person you once encouraged starts encouraging everyone around them. The person you once poured into becomes someone who pours into the community. The student becomes a teacher. The client becomes a peer. The person you helped becomes someone you deeply look up to. This is one of the greatest blessings of this work. Stevie has blessed our lives in ways that are hard to fully explain. Not just because she stayed sober, not just because she changed her life, but because of who she has become in the process. She is creative, she is driven, she is compassionate, she is empathetic, she is honest, she is strong, she carries herself with dignity and grace, but also with the kind of fire that makes people pay attention. She is a DJ, she is a group facilitator, she is part of BRB and the running community. She is a voice in the recovery community. She is a friend, a leader, a role model, and someone who represents so many different parts of humanity with strength, honesty, and heart. There are people who look at Stevie and see themselves, people in recovery, women in recovery, people trying to find their voice, people trying to live honestly, people trying to belong, people trying to become fully themselves.
Yeah, and a mother.
Oh, and a mother.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Shout out to Ken.
Pass the mic.
Pass the mic. That was tough.
All right, before I even read my part, I have to go back up to what you wrote about Stevie because I feel like a grandparent here. Because Juan Duarte came into my life very early in his sobriety journey. And I had the privilege of walking through those early days with you, when everything was new, uncertain, raw, and full of possibility. And when I got to witness your journey to become the person that you are, I remember your fight. I remember your fear. I remember your little victories. Right?
You made me cry.
I could read this entire thing from my perspective with you, and then you got to witness that with her.
God.
And the journey continues.
What a ride, dude.
Right?
Okay, now let me gas you up.
Calling Michelle into the conversation. And Michelle, I want to bring you into this in a meaningful way too, because your relationship with Stevie is such a big part of this story. You've spent years in housing in one of the hardest and most important roles in this work. Housing is not glamorous. It is not easy. It is not clean. It is in the mud. It is where people are learning how to live again, how to trust again, how to be accountable, how to be safe, how to be part of something. And you have been that person for so many people. With Stevie, there is something really beautiful about the relationship you two have. You have been a mentor, a guide, a steady presence, and someone who has deeply loved her through her growth. And now you also get to sit beside her as someone you admire, respect, and learn from. That is the kind of full circle moment this work gives us when we stay close enough to the people and the process.
Woo, come on.
It's beautiful.
That was beautiful, man.
That's beautiful.
Man.
That was tough to read.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, that was hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the goal right now, is to like just to soften the room so we can be exactly who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bring the energy where it needs to be. And obviously, I mean, Precious was right there for all of this as well.
Oh, man.
And I mean, we've been through a lot together, you know, and I got to experience a lot of life together, but I am so excited on so many different levels. I wish we had 3 hours for this conversation. I really do.
So we do it in 3 parts.
But we'll just do another part. Yeah,
That's what we need to do.
Yeah, this is part 1.
That's what we need to do.
We continue.
Yeah. So, you know, this paper exists, and the only thing that I really want to really look at right now is the core theme of this was what happens when recovery becomes more than staying sober. And so along those lines, you know, trying to just have a conversation about what does recovery mean to you is like the first thing that popped to my mind as this was unfolding, you know. And I want to ask you that first, Stevie.
Man, to me, today, recovery means freedom, right? Freedom from just all of the things, not just substances, right? My trauma, my nightmares, you know, my fears, my insecurities. Not that they don't exist, right? I'm just not as ruled by them today. And I think I would say freedom. That's what recovery means to me.
What about on day one, what did recovery mean to you?
I had no clue. I had no clue, man. I went into detox like, you know, what is happening? How did I get here? You know, I kind of had the same mindset, right? You know, go to fix some things real quick, right? And try to get back out there into the world. And, you know, I believe my God had other plans for me. You know, there was more to learn. There was so much to learn, but I had no clue. You know, detoxing, going into IOP. I sat there probably for 2 months just staring at people like, what am I doing here? And what are y'all doing here? You know, so confused by, you know, just the process. I didn't know what it looked like, you know, but I remember my dad told me just shut up and sit still. That's literally it. You know, he told me 2 things walking into that space, which was stay away from women that I was in treatment with or that I went to similar or same meetings with, right? And stay put. That was it. Those were his 2. I had no idea what I was doing. He said, if you do those 2 things, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And here
Bars.
we are. Yeah.
Bars.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to ask both of you a question, you know. What is it like for you sitting here having this experience right now with Stevie? I mean, you know, we all get to be friends, but truth be told, like, what does it represent for you to be sitting next to somebody that has evolved into who we see or has rediscovered? Because I don't even, it's always been here, right?
Anytime I get to be part of a process of a person that was a client and is now doing big things in the community and in the treatment world and all of that, anytime I get to be part of that, it solidifies the choice I made so many years ago to walk into this field and to stay in this field, that people do recover. People do recover, and they do get to experience a life that a lot of people only get to dream about. It just reinforces what I do on a day-to-day basis when things are hard. You know, like when things are hard in this field and we're experiencing loss, or we're experiencing a lot of criticism within the roles that we have. Stevie, you reminds me that there's a bigger purpose, and I was put in this career and in this space to be part of those bigger purposes with people. And it's such a blessing.
What a
it's
mirror.
Such a blessing.
Yeah. What about you, Press? How's it feel?
I think that a lot of what like Michelle said, right? It's so easy to forget like why we do what we do. You know what I mean? And when we're able to have someone in our life we started that journey out and see them successfully recover, right, and build a life for themselves is such a beautiful thing. And we don't get to experience that as often as I would like to in this community, unfortunately. But when we do get to experience that, it's that reminder as to why I do what I do, you know. And for Stevie, like Stevie and I have always stayed in contact, right? Like Stevie, we may not talk every day, we don't hang out every day. But like Stevie will always be one of my good close friends, right? Because Stevie has shown up in ways that people have never shown up in my life, right? Like just being herself and being who she is and doing the work that she has done is something that so many people love to preach about and talk about and say they do it and I did this and you got to do this. But like Stevie truly walks what she preaches, like 1000%. Like I have seen that time and time again from the beginning of time with Stevie, and that's something so special to me because people say it, but they don't do it.
She took the advice, right? Like we give advice. We give advice a lot, and we give experience, and we tell people this is what happened when we made those same choices. Most people don't listen. They get stuck in the buts. She listened. She
stayed out of the shit.
She took the advice. She applied it, and then she came back and reported on how the outcome.
Because I was at moments I was mind blown. Right? Like I vividly remember going to bother Michelle in housing and her literally telling me like, I already got that experience, so you don't have to. Just listen. And so it's so when people ask me, right, how do you stay sober? How did you get this far? I just tell them I have taken every reasonable suggestion and I will continue to do so, right? As long, because I don't know if there'll ever be a time in my life where I just don't need some sort of direction or help, right? And I think that's like kind of the spirit of like humility. I just know that I don't know. I do great when I'm great, but if it goes bad, it's gonna get terrible, right? So the best thing for me to do is to listen and remove myself from it and listen to Juan, listen to Michelle, listen to Precious, and just take sit still.
Sit cross-legged in your closet.
Is this your first time getting sober?
Yes.
Yeah, we have something in common, right?
Yeah, that one time.
The one time.
One time.
Ooh, come on.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Precious, you too, right?
No, two times.
Yeah, well, come on.
See, that's my friend.
Listen, I remember you being in the housing office, right? Eating your lunch or something, hiding because you were told to hide in the housing office. Keep that in. and you're talking, and you were talking to Sticka or Kate or something. You were talking to somebody. And I heard you say some just messy stuff. I pushed my chair back and I was like, excuse me, what? and I think from that moment on, I took you under my wing because I was like, you're me. You're such, we have, our drug of choice is the same, alcohol. Our behaviors, drinking, was similar.
Very similar.
And so like, being able to walk her early sobriety with her reminded me of what my early sobriety looked like. And I was like, oh, wait, I made those mistakes.
Don't do this.
Stop. Stop. Let me tell you how this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
Right? And I always say, like, sometimes I don't even know if you know what you were doing, right? But like that directive came from, you get what I'm saying? And it was, hey, just go do this and then go in there. And now I kind of understand that, like, that was, my steps were very ordered. As long as I stayed out of the way, as long as I listened to whatever was being told, right? My steps were ordered because there was no way that there was anybody more perfect for me in that first like 2 years than Michelle, because she just never played either.
Right. Yeah,
She never played. Like it was never, always with compassion and grace, right? But always radical, like honesty and accountability. Like, who told you to think? You know?
Which is wild, because people will like hear that and be like, man, what?
What? Who they
you know what I
talking
mean?
to,
But
you
in
know?
reference to where I came, maybe I should just cool it for a second, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's so dope when you were like, yo, it's a sign of humility to be like, I believe you.
Yeah.
Yo, I believe you when you're successful in recovery. I believe you when you relapse.
Yeah.
I believe you because I see me and you across everybody, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I should take into account that, hey, I'm no different and that a problem might come my way and it might work that way. So let me ask you, how'd you do it? Because I don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
And I think about that in reference to like, there was a moment in your recovery process that I can look back on, you know, when you were going through death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's these moments when you're watching somebody as they're going through something that's serious, right? Because a lot of times it's like, man, you can get through this thing, right? But when you face those really serious life situations, you see it in somebody's eyes where you're like, yo, man, I'm hurting.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what forward looks like right now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we got to like step back and be like, yo, we're here and we just need to be on the edge.
Yep.
You know, I feel like that process that you walked through was such a significant part.
Man, probably the biggest.
Yeah.
Right? If I had to kind of put things in a perspective over almost like 4 years now, you know, losing my grandmother, you know, was life-changing. And I obviously, as any sort of grief would be, right? But when you factor in the fact that I had 0.2 coping skills at the time, right?
Not
I was
even a whole one.
Not
even a part.
just a partial one, right? You know, it's like, man, like sometimes I look back and I realize that that's why I always say, right, my steps are ordered. You know, I can always cry about the timing, but even then, as I was experiencing it, I'm like, I don't know if it was you, somebody said to me, right, like, she would never leave you if she didn't know that you would be okay.
I knew,
Right? And so that's when I started to just kind of think, right, like I'm in treatment, I'm sober. If there was ever a time for her to go rest, it would be now. And it taught me to, despite all of the emotions that I was experiencing, that was the first time that I had to not be selfish.
Yeah.
Right? That was the first time that I had to understand that this wasn't, you know, because it's always the, why now? I'm just getting my life together. You know, I want you to see this, you know, but it's like that lady was tired. She was tired of me. She was tired. Right. And so it's like she deserved to rest. And I feel like that was the thing, you know, when I got sober literally 3 months before she passed away.
Man.
Right, and I always think about that was my window. What if I had missed it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think I had to learn a lot, right? Working myself to acceptance, but ultimately it just wasn't about me in that moment. I was so sad. I was devastated, but also, could I consider the woman who I didn't consider for so many years?
Yeah, and consider that there's a God big enough to be at hand.
Yeah.
Right.
And that it all works in a perfect plan. No matter how much I don't like it. Right. No matter, you know, it all worked out the way that it was supposed to be. You know. And it was just her time. Yeah,
man. You know, speaking about that, like you watch, like for me, I'm watching that process happen and unfold, and you're like, "Yo, Big Juan, you know, let me holler at you, let me talk to you," and like we're talking and we're having that conversation, and I remember like just walking away from that conversation, like, okay, this is what they call one of the jumping off points, the acid test. These are the things that show up in life, and it's like you can't take that from somebody, because it's going to show up in a different way, right?
I had to get through it.
You had to get through that. You know, it shows up in different ways. Like whatever it is, that's your life. You know, but on the other side of that, when you see that, dude, when you see somebody come through it, and you watch how they come out the other side of that. You had 0.202 coping skills. You level it up, man. It was like you
powered up on them.
Yeah.
You know? And
I think you did though, Stevie. Like you carried yourself with so much grace through that time. Even though like I could see the pain and the hurt, like you still showed up the best way that you possibly could. You were still engaged. You were still present. Like you were still listening. You didn't lose that.
And you found a way to teach other people in that.
Yeah, in my own grief, right?
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I remember one thing you said to me that stood out to me was, I never forget, we were in the hallway and you just kind of were like, grief is a solo journey.
Yeah.
And I just never forgot that. Right? Because it's so true. If grief is equivalent to the relationship, then the only people that have the relationship is me and the deceased. Right? So it's like there was nothing that I could do, right? My dad was grieving his mother, my aunt, you get what I'm saying? My cousins are grieving in their own, like all of us were grieving in our own way. And so I think it taught me to not make everything about me. I had so many other things to consider, right? My daughter was grieving somebody that was extremely important, right, in her life. And I was in treatment. You know, like I could have made that a big thing, but I didn't, right? I just did, like you said, I did what I could do with what I had, you know, at the time, which wasn't much, if I'm being honest. All I knew was to stay put. Don't leave.
Don't
I really think that you're probably one of the least selfish people that I know.
I agree.
I appreciate that.
Like I mean that's my
for real.
I appreciate that.
You probably weren't a selfish person before you got sober, right? But alcohol
just drugs.
Stole it.
Alcohol stole it. So I was talking to somebody this morning, and I said, a zebra doesn't change its stripes, right? Like the person at their core is always going to be that person. And most of us who have addiction issues are genuinely amazing people, generous, emotional, compassionate, all of those things, but it gets stolen in the addiction process. And when we get sober, we come back to those. And then there are the few that were just genuinely not good humans who just became worse through their addiction. But those are far and few between. Most of us are super
benevolent and good. It's not a moral dilemma. This isn't a moral crisis. You know, although we do immoral things as a result of it, but it's not. And which is interesting because a lot of people are trying to repair a moral deficiency. You know, like, yo, dude, I didn't become an alcoholic because I'm a shitty person. You know what I mean?
Like that's not how it happened.
You know what I mean? The causes, the conditions, and what it means to be an alcoholic goes deeper than that. And I hope that if you're confused about that, you'll dig in with somebody that's willing to talk that through a little bit further. But you know, thinking about some of the dynamics that exist, you know, between housing and it's something that I want to jump in with you too, Michelle, because you said that early on when you were reading the intro, right? Like, and you talked about the roles that we play and how sometimes, you know, that can be really difficult because you're having to create boundaries and structure and hold mirrors up, and sometimes that mirror is held up and it doesn't feel like it's sharp and it's right in our face, and then other times you have to hold it up really close. You know, for you, like you said with Stevie, what did you say?
Literally, and it was like that every day.
You have to know your audience though, because different people need different things, right? And so like to do this work, you can't be the same way with every person.
You have to meet them where they're at,
right? You have to meet them, absolutely, right?
Absolutely.
And so you have to know the person that's sitting in front of you and know how to handle the person. I knew Stevie because Stevie was me. Stevie was absolutely me, and I knew that what she was going to respond to was absolutely real, direct. You know, let's meet it head on. Hell, I almost threw her out of housing.
I was waiting. I knew it. I knew she was gonna bring it up. She was like, all right. She was like, all right. This is, when is she up out of here? Because I'm tired.
She was still living in housing. She was getting ready to get her own place.
Yeah, I was like right there, right at the end.
And she's working, and I go do room inspections.
Of course.
I remember.
Her room was hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, nuh-uh, no way. This is the role modeling she's got going on. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I just happened to catch her on laundry day, she says. She says.
I stand on that statement.
But, at that moment, I was like, this is not where she should be at.
Yeah.
And I confronted it. Right? I confronted it. And I've always confronted it with her. But, somebody else might need something different.
Yeah.
You needed something different when you sat in front of me.
Yeah.
Our relationship was different because I had to read the person in front of me.
Yeah, you read it real close and you put
She's
that mirror
amazing.
up quick.
She's amazing.
And I was
at
like,
the
I
mirror.
see it.
Oh, this is me. Who is this person, right? Like,
But I think that, you're either born with that natural ability or you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what has kept me in the field as long as I have been. I've been in the field over 28 years.
That's wild.
People burn out of this very
Man, come
quick.
on.
Yeah.
I've been doing housing 8 years of that 28, right? So nobody manages housing for more than 8 years. Nobody. And here I am.
That goes without even explaining it.
you ain't gotta say no more.
I'm walking into my fourth setting, ready to tackle it, ready to make it better than any of the other ones.
Let's talk about it. What makes housing
My heart. It's my heart.
Well, I know why you do it, but what makes it in contrast to the other working in the facility or at a treatment center? What makes it? It is the most difficult department aspect.
It's the best.
It is the best.
And I'll tell you why it's the
100%.
best. Because they come to the treatment center for 3, 4, 6 hours a day, right? And they're on their best behavior.
Yeah.
They're showing up to their therapist and their case manager like,
they dressing it up.
sparkly and shiny, and I got them for the rest of the day. I got them for 19 hours a day.
Yeah.
I see them
You
in
get to
their
see the honest
natural
stuff, like what's going on.
environment, right?
I'm not your therapist. I see what you just did.
Yeah.
Right.
I heard.
Right.
Well,
And-
they become comfortable too, right?
Right.
That's their home.
Yeah.
So of course, they let
The
loose, right?
dynamics are different, and I get to teach people at the base level how to live a better life
In every way.
Plus, plus I don't have to build nothing.
Right. You just
Right? I
show
can
up.
just
That's the
do
best.
it.
Just all off the muscle.
Right? I can just do it.
Yeah.
And I can teach people how to pay bills. I can teach people how to do laundry. I can teach people how to be a good roommate, how to
Communicate.
address conflict.
Yeah.
Right? I get to real life help them apply the things that they learn in their groups.
Well, let
and
me
in
ask you another
therapy.
question then in a different way.
Not the
What's
knee
it look
slapper.
like? Because I want to get an answer. Because it needs to be talked about, which is what does it look like it being supported as housing? Because housing so often goes without the right support, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lack of resources, lack of support, lack of communication, overstepping decision making, all these things.
Do you really want those answers?
Yeah, man, we need them answers.
We
No,
need to know
what
those
do?
answers.
Yeah, we need the answers.
The biggest barrier within housing is corporate oversight.
Tell us more.
The bottom line, people want to make profit, right?
Yeah.
And so you can't always deal with the people in the best manner because you have somebody over you telling you how you should deal with that.
And how does
person.
that affect housing?
It affects housing because it creates safety issues.
Yeah. Security.
It creates trauma triggers, sometimes safety issues within the sober community. It creates lack of accountability because sometimes our residents know that I can give them 15 warnings and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because corporate's not going to let me throw somebody out for not making their bed
For the 27th time.
for the 27th time. Right? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So it is tough because people do deserve treatment, right? And they do deserve to be treated in a compassionate way, but they also should be expected to express the gratitude for having that space and having that
opportunity,
accountability,
space,
right? And sometimes that's gotten lost in the shuffle of how many treatment centers can I go to?
Well, it gets really blurred too between housing and treatment, right?
Yeah.
Which there's a difference, which I think,
Huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's separate things that are happening there, which I think, a lot of individuals that maybe are tuning into this, or even family members or somebody else, like understanding the nuance. They're like, recently I'm like, there needs to be more education and there needs to be more advocacy.
Yeah.
Like, people need to start understanding what is actually happening here. And if you are a client receiving services, whether it's housing or clinical services, you should know the difference between some of these things.
You know, I think about like my journey with managing mental health and that, right, that incident, right, literally almost at the end of my time at housing. But if I'm being honest, being busy and having my own mental health issues, right? I feel like it's taken these entire 4 years to learn how to manage my space.
Yeah.
So it blows me when we think that the solution is okay for 3 or 6 months. Like, no, we need a long. I'm grateful that I was able to stay. I was able to stay for a year in housing, and that's not always the
case.
That's not always the case, right? And even
Especially
with that,
today.
I still, I got out and got into my own space and still struggled because I still had an unmanageability problem. I didn't know how to manage my life.
It used to be different, right? When I was a case manager years ago, I was a community case manager, and there were housing programs that supported people for up to 2 years. And I would go into those spaces.
Like into their home?
Into their homes.
Oh man,
and
I could have used that.
I was
That's what it should be.
I was budgeting with them. I was cleaning with them. I was making meals with them. I was taking them shopping. We were doing real life things.
Oh man.
The system and everything has shifted
big time
in such a generic way that personalized service is not a thing anymore. Right? I would have people case management on my caseload for a year. And I would follow them, and I would go to their house, and I would shop, and we would go to meetings, and I would teach them how to act at a meeting, because respect was a thing that they had to learn.
Absolutely.
It's a part of staying sober.
And people were successful. I mean, I still follow people who were successful working in the field and not working in the field 20 years later, and they're still doing this.
Well, I think about it too, as far as like building these resources, the resources to serve the people, right, are why. Why do we do this? And it's to help people, right? It's to serve people and to bring people back and to remind people and like all these things, and the business that is this industry is, in my opinion, right? And this is me, is to build more resources to be able to serve.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we have a huge issue, and understanding and being aligned with people on what is the why. I get it, like we're here and money is gonna be a part of this, but if the money is more than the why, then the why is always going to struggle. It's always going to suffer, and that's not okay, and a big part of what you're naming right now, Michelle, is like going out into the community can be inconvenient for an operation, right? It can bleed a resource. It can create difficulties. And that's the way I see it.
Or it can create success, which on the back end of that creates more community members who are contributing, right? So it creates better outcomes.
Right.
Yeah.
The best thing that was ever told to me when I worked in the court system at Lucas County Task, Scott Silak, who's the director of the
executive
mental health
director
board.
of the mental health board.
He was the director at Task when I worked there, and the most important lesson I ever learned in my career was from him. And he said, case management doesn't happen in the office. I shouldn't see you here.
Well, I think that treatment centers aren't doing that. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. But I think that treatment centers aren't doing that because it is creating that is successful, right? That the clients aren't coming back. They're not in that shuffle.
Yeah.
And that's not everyone, but that's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a
right?
real thing.
It's a real thing, and
there's
it's
a lot of
sad. We
nuances.
lost the purpose of treatment is.
Yeah, and the system has done it to itself too, because now
For
we
sure.
have to push more paper than ever before.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Right. And
There has
so
to be a reason and a necessity for every single
Yeah.
service that's given, you know, and that's just a lot.
Insane.
Yeah. And it doesn't really require much to care about a person to show up and to like do what you're talking about.
Yeah.
we taught them to live. We taught them to have a life bigger than just their sobriety, because life isn't just your sobriety, right? Life is like going out and exploring. Like, what do I love to do?
When
What
recovery
makes
becomes more than
sobriety,
Sobriety.
right?
Yeah.
Sobriety is just a piece of me. It's not all. It's not even a fraction of me anymore, because my life has become so big. And teaching clients or residents or whatever, teaching people how to have a big life is really the purpose.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's possible, right? I know one of the best things my dad told me, right, was to get people with a lot of sober time. And when I look up, right, Michelle was there. My sponsor has 25, you know what I'm saying, plus years. And of course, I'm always going to love my people who have the same amount or close to the same amount of time as me, because we are great support. But when it comes time for me to decide whether to get into a relationship or leave a relationship, right,
wisdom.
I kind of got to I got to go with wisdom, people who have navigated this.
Lived experience.
You know what I mean? Multiple times and been able to keep their mind, you know, and keep their sobriety, because that's the point, right? Is that I don't want to blow my life up to a point where I feel like now it's impossible for me to stay sober.
Which I think you're naming something important, or you're saying something. You're not loyal to comfort and your feelings.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Which is important too. You know, I feel like, because in a lot of times in that situation, we're talking about a relationship. It's like, man, should I get into this relationship that feels really good?
Yeah.
That's also probably going to be really bad.
Yeah, for people like us, right? Things that feel really good can sometimes be
liability.
really dangerous, or cost me my life on the back end. So it's important for me to, while acknowledging my emotions, still being able to operate from a logical place today. And I love that, and I know it frustrates some of the people in my life for sure, right? But again, I always tell them, if I have a big emotional reaction, I may not make it through.
Right.
You understand? Like it could cost me something different.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting back to logic.
Yeah.
What is this a good idea for me? You know what I think about? I remember
crazy.
when I signed up for school, right? I was 18 months sober, and I went to school to get my degree because I had inadequacy issues. Thanks, Michelle.
I didn't give them to you.
No, she's the one who told me that I was struggling with inadequacy. Not that she gave them to me. Yeah, right. But I was losing my mind.
Unwell.
Yes, unwell, literally unwell, so unwell, right? And Michelle was like, I could have told you to not take these classes at this time had you just reached out. And that's when I realized that even my well-intentioned, get better, do the best that I can efforts are sometimes irrational. What am I supposed to do with that, right? I have to depend on logic and somebody else's experience.
A lot of times me playing the tape through is crazy.
It's crazy still, and I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah.
But you said something earlier. You in regards to like, will I ever get to a point where I don't need to run stuff past somebody else? No. I'm living proof that
Still need to run it.
no.
Still need to run it by
Like, no
somebody.
matter what, my ego left unchecked
It's dangerous.
is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And I have to seek out people who are going to tell me the truth. I can seek out.
And you got to be real.
Yeah, I can seek out the people who are going to co-sign what I want to
Yes,
hear.
absolutely.
But that's not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
And I know who those people are, and I know who the people are that are going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And those are the people I need to seek out. And so you always seek out people who are going to give you the best advice.
Real, yeah.
And be real and not be like, oh, it's going to be okay.
Oh, gosh.
Go ahead and take a full caseload and have
don't
a
do
full
that.
DJ schedule. Sure.
You're being a douchebag.
Yeah. She's like, absolutely not. Also, don't take summer classes, right? In case your genius, your genius idea is to go to school this summer. I'm telling you to not. And it's crazy because that was such a transformative summer, not only for myself but also my brand and my business. I did so many cool things that summer because I listened right to the experience in the room.
Because the other half of that conversation was you need to decide, are you going to have your own platform or are you going to be a counselor?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to do two different things part-time, but you're meant to do one thing full-time.
Yeah.
Started spinning every day.
Right?
So every day, right?
Every day
So
scratching.
reflect on that.
Yeah.
Reflect on that. Where's your heart being pulled? Because I don't think it's here.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You're bigger than that.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I know I still struggle with, right? I won't say trying to create a platform, because if I'm being honest, I feel like the platform is already created, right? But being able to step into it, and it's the same. That's why I said, like, I can, the fear and sometimes the insecurities and imposter syndrome is insane.
Can I help you? Fear isn't real.
It's a mile wide.
It's not though.
Fear isn't real.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Just poke.
Just pop it.
What's the worst thing that happens if you step on that platform?
I don't know. You succeed.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like I succeed.
You get some critics that will also give you presents. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is true. Right. This
Let
is
the
true.
critics critic.
Oh man, that's tough though.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I'm overcomplicating it for sure.
Always.
Absolutely.
Right.
Fear
But it's
isn't real.
crazy how even in distance, this is always why I say that there's always something bigger at play, because I literally just had this conversation with a close friend of mine, and her words to me are, you are on your way to full-time purpose. And Michelle literally just said the exact same thing. Right. So like I understand. This is where I listened.
I said it 2 years ago.
She did. She did. Right. Awareness is crazy, by the way. or lack thereof. Let's be clear. Lack thereof. Because there's a lot of lacking. Even still sometimes. But, just understanding, again, the direction that I'm headed, right? Because I've built these great things, right? With BRB, with the homies, and watching that and DJing and getting called to speak more. But somehow I still find myself questioning whether or not I'm qualified.
Man,
right? When my logically I know, right, that God qualified me a long time ago to do this work. But still not wanting to deal with, like she said, the critics, or she doesn't have a degree, so how can she speak on this, right? And not necessarily wanting to be challenged like that just yet, I guess.
Yeah, I burn the boats, man. I can look back and say, like, there wasn't another, when I didn't give myself another option. There was no other option. You know what I mean?
Burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
Burn
man.
the boats.
You know what I mean? Like, no plan B, no nothing else. And that doesn't mean I'm just going to do one thing. It means that I'm going to do anything and everything that lives inside of me. You know what I mean? I just ain't going to live for anything other than what's inside of me, dude.
There are people that have more letters behind their name than are in their name. Right? Who may not have an inkling of intuition. You don't need a degree
to be qualified
to speak on your experiences and the experiences that you've seen others have.
Yep, to be wise, to have intelligence, all those things. I mean, obviously, like, education's important, but it pales in comparison to heart.
To heart,
right? That spirit. It really does. When I really think about it, I'm still a client favorite, right? No degree, right? They'll seek me out sometimes before they seek out anybody else because they know I'm going to tell them the truth.
And there's a lot of wisdom that lives in your authenticity too, that frees them up to be authentic, which is like another one of the questions I actually had which is like, what's it been like for you as you're finding your voice?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are the things that have like freed you to express and live authentically and, you know?
I think understanding partly, right, that like I was raised by an amazing woman who has some struggles, right, but amazing nonetheless. And my granny never held nobody up, ever. It's always a truth tell, even if you didn't want to hear it, and she probably didn't always say it the right way, but just always just was gonna tell her truth. Right, and how she felt, but she would like my granny was one of those people who could like cuss you out, and then like be making your plate at the same time.
Yeah.
Right, like just that old school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that real old school granny. And so when I think about the women that I was raised around, I was raised around very strong women.
Yeah.
Right, but those women didn't necessarily know how to take care of themselves. Right, so as I look,
So I believe you.
Yes.
I see you.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay, how can I do what they did, but better, right? How can I upgrade it? And the upgrade was self-care, right? Learning to prioritize myself, be honest, right? Like, you know, I've had to make decisions and be honest with people that 4 years ago, I never would have said. I just would have stayed.
Yeah.
Or you get what I'm saying? I would have let things mentally, emotionally, spiritually destroy me before I ever spoke up. So I think just learning that I matter. My needs matter. My wants matter. My experience matters. And anybody around me that is willing to invalidate that, right? They gotta go.
All right, let's rewind to where we were in the last conversation.
Yeah.
When it's like, yo, like, I don't know if I can do this, you know, or whatever that is, right?
You let me keep talking. Yeah.
Then to fast forward back in.
I matter.
You know what I mean?
My experience matters.
Yeah, dude.
It might not matter to everybody, but it matters to you, and it matters to the people that are meant to be impacted by it.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I know for a fact that you have made more of an impact than 90% of anyone with a degree, with any letters behind their name.
Oh, come
I have
on,
seen it, I have heard it, I've witnessed it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have made an impact in my life. Like, truly.
bro.
Made an impact in mine.
Man,
You've helped
But
me.
I get that feeling also, right? I get that.
Man, you gather 100 people that have been in all of our groups together, in all of our presence together, and you ask, who do you want to show up for next? It's gonna be you.
Probably. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The most loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
She doesn't even know it.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy because, like you said, right, learning to, but I just do it the way that I know how to do it. I don't know how to
Flow
be,
state.
right? I don't
Just
know
be
how to
real
be
up there.
anybody else. You know, I had a client literally tell me today, he said, because he said something so ridiculous, right? And I just challenged it, sorry. Because if you've been in group, then you know, sometimes very irrational thought processes, right? But I challenged it, and I challenged it with very simple things. Why are we making excuses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Why are we making excuses? Stress is not a reason.
Right. Given where we come from.
Right, because I lived a very stressful life.
Right.
Same.
So stress is not anything that's foreign to anybody in this room.
Right.
But all of a sudden now, right, I have to do it without substances, and you get what I'm saying? I want to fold like a lawn chair. So when I challenged that, you know, he sat with it, and then later on he was like, man, you're right. They need to pay you more money. You know what I'm saying? He was like, because nobody would have ever said that to me like that. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
Right? You're absolutely right. Nobody else would have challenged that because that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's the things that helped me the most, right?
sure.
The moments where people would say things that almost made me feel like my chest was about to cave in.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that was that truth that I needed to, right? My spirit needs this. You know, when Michelle talks about ego, I feel like she said that to me every day for 2 years. Your ego is trying to kill you. Your ego is trying to kill you. So now I know whether it's superior or inferior, my ego is trying to kill me. How can I right size this thing?
Yeah.
But also,
Bars.
there's a fine line between confidence and ego.
Absolutely.
Right? So, like, ego is that space that we step into when we think we're the only ones who can do what we do.
Yeah.
Confidence is where we believe we can do what it is we set out to
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
Right? Ego is when we start to tear others down for the same thing.
Absolutely.
So watch yourself in that you don't use your ego as the excuse to not step into who you are meant to be. Because you're supposed to do big things.
100%. And on the way to big things, you're being shaped and molded and sifted and sorted and cooked and burned.
And that process is rough.
Yeah, man.
Gosh, bro, it is.
I fuck with that struggle, man. I love that.
Oh, it's
Like,
tough.
you don't love every freaking minute of it.
No.
You
I
right
look
though.
back and love it. Yeah.
You right though.
In the midst of it,
I can be
love the
honest.
struggle.
Because that's what I know.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I
the
know, and I
norm.
also love the challenge. Right, I love when life presents a situation that used to baffle me.
Yeah, like, okay, watch me.
Right, but watch this. Watch me work. And it's not like a ego statement. That's just like, I have confidence in myself today to make it through things that literally would have tried to take me out 5 years ago.
Listen.
I know how to pick up the phone or, go to the gym, or go for it, right? Like like you said, I went from 0.2 coping skills to 200.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about, over the years for me, like the evolution has been to, watch me to watch him and let's see how it plays out. Like, all right, I'm up for the test.
Yeah, let's see.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I believe I have a God that's about promise.
Yeah.
And possibility. You know what I
Say
mean?
it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. And so if I'm prompted into something and I'm trusting that God's got His hands on it, then all right, you don't gotta watch. Let's see.
Let's see, right?
Let's go.
Right. One of my
Let's
favorite
go.
things is God show me how good it can get.
That's right.
Right, because I feel like I only had a relationship when I was struggling.
Yeah.
Right, that was when I was like so reliant. But now it's like every day, all day. Sometimes I'm just in a constant conversation. Right, just understanding how far I've come and what needs to be said, who needs to hear what. Like Michelle was saying, understanding that I know I'm not the alpha and the omega in this thing. Right, I understand that something else moves through me.
What
right,
about
and I'm
that
just
situation where you're like, man, why is this happening? And you're asking yourself that. Because that's how it was early on for me. Man, why is this happening?
Right.
Man, why is this happening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the direction of that question shifts. You know what I mean? For me, what's going on, man? Like, I can't handle this, telling myself that, or to like pushing that somewhere where it's really gonna turn into what it needs to turn into.
Yeah. It shifts, like you said. It shifts. It goes from why me to why not. Right? Why not me?
And sometimes things have to burn down.
Why me?
That too.
Sometimes things have to burn down, right? To make room, to make space. I remember the one day you called me. I don't know. It was something with your daughter, and your car broke down, and I don't know. It sounded like a country song.
This was tough. This was tough. This was a tough day for me.
It was a lot going on.
Tough day for me.
But you're like, I don't have the capacity for this.
I'll never forget this. Yeah.
And I said, but you do, because you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like you can't say I don't have the capacity for this. You're in it. You're fixing it. You're doing it. You're putting one foot in front of the other. You absolutely have the capacity for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because sometimes things have to burn down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the car has to break down because God's got another plan.
Yeah.
And if the car doesn't break down, you're just going to continue to drive it on 3 wheels.
Right?
Right?
So we gotta, and I'm
figure it
hard-headed, so yeah, it has to be a big explosion in order for me to sometimes receive the message. So I do understand that today.
Exactly.
Right, but I didn't understand.
But it's going to happen again, and you're going to call somebody, and you're going to be like, I don't have the capacity, and then you're going to realize, like, no, I do have.
After a while, that faithfulness in that process, you know what I mean? That faithfulness starts to happen. Like, oh man, I remember that the last 15 times.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, don't leave before the miracle happens.
Right.
And that just becomes so real.
Or what is that book about? Don't stop digging. before you find the gold. Like this fable about the guy who was digging for gold and he gave up 5 feet from the gold. Right? Like,
man.
Don't stop digging.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Yo, what's it look like to struggle today for you?
Oh man. Well, you know, I still have, I'm still in therapy. I have mental health, you know, things that I struggle with from time to time. But if I'm being honest, man, very poised struggle today. Very poised, right? I have my moments. I still have a supervisor who I can go into her office and become absolutely unhinged for 10 minutes and then pick myself back up and go back, right? Like I always appreciate those moments. I feel like they're shorter and they're not as dramatic, right? Sometimes I just need a moment to not have to be a CDCA or the DJ or the brand and just be Stevie and be vulnerable and be honest, right? And just let somebody know that I just don't have it all.
I'm not a role. I'm not a character.
No, I'm a real human with real emotions and I am struggling today.
Okay. What is it hard for you to say yes to today? Things that are hard to say yes to.
Anything good for me, man. Right? Anything good for me. I still have a weird attraction to the wrong things sometimes.
Come on.
So I feel like my toughest yeses have probably been the things that would ultimately set me free, right?
Yeah, bro, I hope you just, you know what I mean?
It's all coming together. It's crazy how, right, like our foundation is so strong and the dynamics in all of our relationships that like, I don't know, I think I needed this. Like I didn't know that I needed this until I'm sitting here and I'm just like, and now I'm talking, but I'm also thinking about how I just said, it's a lot,
things are just working out.
It's just working itself out, right? It's just working itself out. And I know that's not by accident.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's by design.
It's by design.
It's always by design.
Always by design. There's just certain things that I know, right, I can get from you guys whenever, you know, Michelle has like, there's things that I only call her for, only call you for, only call Presh for, you know, and it's just, one thing I can say, man, is that I felt like I walked into treatment alone, right? And I really truly did, but I left, man, with the biggest, best, right? I'm talking about ride or die. I know if I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all coming in all black, right? Like, you know, like
I got the shovel.
Yeah, right? Like I know that, and that's just, man, when they said that connection was the opposite of addiction, I thought that was the corniest thing I had ever heard in my life.
Truest thing ever.
Me too, until I felt it.
Until I realized.
I knew it was true.
I just woke up one day, right? And I was, March is my grandmother's birthday, and it's actually crazy because this March I was struggling, and one of my friends literally said, look how much she loves you. She left you, right, with not one community, the run club, the creatives, right? There's so many different people I could call for anything in my life, bro. And I'm just like, how could I not see the beauty in that and have that what did you say one day? You said optimism sustained through gratitude.
Yep.
Right? If I can, it's easy to stay optimistic today when I'm staying grateful.
And if you're optimistic, that means you're looking forward to something. If you're looking forward to something, you got something to live for. You know what I mean? And when you got something to live for,
all gas.
Yeah, even better if you got something to die for. That's why I'm so thankful, dude, for the process of watching you and witnessing you. You're a miracle. You know, the last thing that I want to ask you, which is like, you know, a call to action or just a message to the camera right here for you, which is, you know, what do you want to tell the one person? What do you want to tell the kid, whoever it is? What's your message for the people listening?
That when it's tough, sometimes it's okay to keep your head down, right? But when you're ready, somebody will be there to help you lift it back up, right? Somebody will be there. You don't have to do that part alone. Just know that and believe that to be true, because that was my experience, right? I came in there broken, right? Little Stevie just tearing me up in adult life, you know, and I kept my head down for a while, right? Like, and that grief hit, kept it down a little longer, you know. But when it was time for me to move and start building, right, I had so much support. I didn't have to do anything alone, and I haven't had to do anything alone in 4 years.
Big up. Come on. Last thing for you, you got a question to ask each one of us. One question. We have 4 minutes.
All right, let's go.
3 questions.
All right, Press. As you reflect back on your own, right, like recovery journey, what do you think, like, how do you think we relate?
Me and you?
Yeah. I feel like I know. I'm just curious, right? Like, very different backgrounds.
You think so? I feel like we have similar backgrounds.
Yeah, we do, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like that was where I was going to say, where I was going to go with it. I feel like we have a very similar background, and, you know, we haven't really went into like the depths of those conversations, but just from conversations that we've had together, I picked up on so many little things that we have in common, or things that we have related to, you know what I mean, on and throughout my journey. I think that, like, damn, I don't know, Stevie, it's a hard one.
Yeah.
Something that we would, I don't know. What is it?
Interesting. I don't know. I think the passion, right? Like that fire. If I don't know anything else, I know that when
That's
me and
true.
Precious are around, there's some real fire taking place. And I remember hearing you speak before I ever met you, and I remember seeing the fire then, and it's still there.
Yeah.
Right?
I would definitely say that. But I also would definitely say that we do come from a very similar background in a lot of ways.
Yeah, some of those early childhood experiences were similar. Yeah. All right, Mr. Duarte.
Yeah.
As a mentor, right? Because I feel like you're a mentor, man. To the masses.
Toledo.
Like, everybody just Juan, right? What do you think has been like your biggest lesson? Right? Like the thing that's just like you learned and just sticks out.
Oh man, the biggest lesson, that's God's real. God's real.
Yeah.
Hands down, the biggest lesson of my life, my recovery, is that God's real. And any moment that I make that decision to know that that's true, there isn't a problem that I face that doesn't become an opportunity that I walk through and will walk into. You know, I'd say the biggest lesson is just God.
It's powerful, man. Yeah.
Come on. Either God's everything or God's nothing. That's the way I see it.
All right.
I would say that is something similar too with both of us, and especially with, you know, like obviously we're both in a same-sex relationships, or we like, you know what I mean, and I think that like that was a battle, at least for myself.
Definitely one for me.
You know what I mean, and trying to express and talk about that. So
and walk in, right? Be able to speak about God comfortably, right?
without judgment, fear of judgment, and how people would look at us because of that.
Yeah. So I relate. Still.
Me too.
We're ending on perfect time with Michelle because we have 3 out of 4 mics that are dead right now.
Oh yeah.
All right.
They can't even hear us.
Right. So,
Stevie's is going.
yoga, nutrition, right? All of the things that I know about you. How important is healing the body in this process?
It is a top priority, and I didn't know that until I was 10 years sober. But it is a top priority, and it's one of the most overlooked things that is part of the treatment and recovery culture. But if you don't heal the body, the brain can't heal, right? And the brain, like the stomach is where your neurotransmitters are based, right? Like your stomach is making your neurotransmitters for your brain. So if you're not feeding yourself well,
then your brain chemistry is going to be off.
Mhm.
But I don't know why I feel anxious. How many energy drinks and
Hot Cheeto Puffs.
and
That's my thing.
hot, yes.
Takis.
And Takis
late
have
night
you had
snack.
today, right? Like the things that it is so important to balance all of those things, but also moving your body, like exercise. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to join a run club. You don't have to put your foot behind your head
Right.
in order to make, in order to have movement. But movement is so important. It wards off some of those depressive states, right? Like I want to feel good. I didn't get sober to feel like shit.
Yeah.
Right? I got sober to embrace life.
Yeah.
And so like, but I have to feel well in my body to do that. And without that, I think that is one of the missing links to our traditional 12-step programs. It's not just a spiritual disease. It is a physical disease as well as a spiritual disease, and they need to be dealt with hand in hand.
Well, I got a few more years until 10, Michelle, and then I'll get there.
I love you guys.
I'm gonna work with that.
Oh, man.
I love you guys very much.
I needed this. This was good for my spirit.
We gotta run it back.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we
Part
need
two.
to. Dude, we got
Because
so many of
we
these.
already blew through the mics.
Man, we cooked through that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, well, let me get this down, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Drop a comment, say what's up to Stevie in the comments, whatever you feel on your heart. If there's anything you related to here, any kind of message you want to give to other people that were watching this, include that into the comments. Until next time, everybody, we appreciate you at Soul Path. Love you. Peace.